There we go. The button has been pressed and we are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Hello, hello. And welcome to our speaker series, our Monday evening show where we are hosting amazing, inspirational women in the field of health, mindset, nutrition, fitness. You know what? Name it, we've got it. So today with us is beautiful Ashley, who is going to share with us secrets to how to break the food rules. And I love this topic because I keep saying it's not about, cutting the joy out of your life by not eating certain foods, even though you like them. It's about so much more. So, without further ado, Ashley, oh God, Ashley,
Two
why
first
don't
names.
you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you from, what do you do, and what's your mission on this planet?
Yes. Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. Thank you so much for having me, Monica. I'm a registered dietitian. I live in the U.S., specifically in Wisconsin. It is a cold day here, another cold day. And I help women restore health and happiness who have been or I help women who have chronically dieted or they find that they yo-yo, right? Like they're whole 30 1 month and then they're all the Oreos, all the chips the next month. So the women who kind of find, or maybe they may even describe themselves as like, I'm addicted to food or I've tried every diet and nothing works for me. I help them restore a sense of well-being or what I kind of say is health and happiness by getting them off that diet roller coaster. Um,
Yes.
and it's a really powerful experience. We get to dig really deep and it often impacts not only their health and wellness from a physical perspective but all of their relationships, including in their family, any loved ones, any romantic relationships, and then work relationships too often change substantially through the process. So it's a really special journey I get to walk alongside my clients with.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I can so relate because it's very similar to the experience that I have with my clients. And yeah, once they kind of start digging into their health and nutrition and all that, they start feeling good from within. And my line always is when you feel good from within, your mind starts feeling so much better. And then you feel like
Yes.
you can take on the world. So that is so amazing. So I feel you and I connected obviously when I was looking for speakers for my group, but I feel that your message is really close to my message and it kind of just makes us stronger because so many women out there still think that eating healthily is only for when they're trying to do something with the shape of their body, right?
Yeah.
And you and I both know that it goes way beyond that, right? It's not just about
So
fitting
much.
in those skinny jeans. I go so beyond that. So
Right.
let's talk about food rules. Let's talk about what are food rules that your clients usually come to you with in their heads, and how do you work with them to break them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So it varies a lot depending on their history of dieting, but almost consistently, the idea is like sugar is bad, carbs are bad is a really common one. Obviously, it's going to flow with whatever like the mainstream media is pushing. So right now, since keto is so big, or gluten is bad, or let me finish that thought. So usually carbohydrates are the enemy number one currently. Of course, that's going to change and evolve as the media does. Gluten could be thought of someone feels that that's bad. Cookies, processed foods, usually that's bad. But what these people are often trapped in is such a judgment space because what they feel is bad is also what they secretly is the thing that they really want to eat. So they're constantly in this dynamic of self hate or self disappointment, and but never feeling any better. So it
Mhm.
really doesn't propel us to make any type of sustainable change when we say we can't have the cupcakes, but all we want are the cupcakes, right? So
Absolutely.
they're often quite trapped. And the way that we work through that, usually I work with my clients for 6 to 9 months. So it's not a quick fix by any means, but we really dig into a transition from policing ourselves. And we talk about like wearing hats. So I'm using my hands right now. Wearing kind of becoming the food police, right? Where we're putting things into buckets. Eat this, not that. Eat less, not more. These buckets of black and white. Because that's what our brains, that's what they want to do. Our brains feel really comfortable in that space. But what we kind of coach, what I coach my clients to is how to become the curious detective. And the curious detective isn't in a judgment space. They're open, they're accepting, they're breathing, they're leaning in, and they're asking the really hard questions. Because any good, true leader doesn't have all the answers, right? And we're the leaders of our own body. They don't have all the answers, but they're really, really good at asking questions. And we can only ask questions when we're not judging ourselves. So that's a huge opportunity cost of judgment, right? Is that we miss the opportunity to learn. And so through the process, we move from that food policing to, which ultimately is just, it's so hard on our self-esteem, our self-worth, how we feel we can even show up in these relationships that ultimately end up changing and evolving and growing and deepening in a lot of ways, to that curious detective who can be in conflict comfortably, who can show up in discomfort and say, interesting, I wonder what's happening here. What are my takeaways? And how can I use this to further align with my value system?
I love it. Oh my goodness, you basically summarized my journey. Went from,
this is the goal.
Yeah.
This is the goal.
Yeah.
This is what everyone wants, even when they don't realize it. But when someone starts a diet, it's often they're looking for value alignment, and they're looking for like, how can I love myself more? Because that's when other people start to love and see you. It has nothing to do with that very, what I'd call like a very shallow win of a body change. That actually changes nothing. It's just a result. Like the only thing that changes when we lose weight is a number on a scale. And a lot of women that I've talked to, where they're most unhappy at their thinnest, right? Which is like, the deep win, right? As opposed to that shallow win. The deep win is self-love, is realizing no matter what size my body's in, I'm still me and I am valuable at any level.
That is so powerful. That is so, so important. And this message needs to be heard by so many women. And that is what I've been through, and that is what people here in Bad Mom Clubs are going through, women mums. This is why we've created the Bad Moms Club, so that women learn how to be balanced, authentic, and deserving, and understand that it is a journey. It's not a quick fix. That's one thing. But I always say, and this is why I actually started this speaker series, is to bring awareness out there that is not just, oh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds and then that's it and I'll be happy. You need to work on your brain, on your mindset, alongside with fueling your body with good nutrition, and they're both connected, right? So when the mind shifts, the body is going to shift. And when you're fueling your body with good nutrients, good quality stuff, then all this is going to feed back into your mind as well. And you're going to feel great in your head. So it's just so interconnected. And I feel like it's not about six packs. It's not about just gaining muscle and stuff like that and looking like super hot in a bikini. Yeah, you can have all that, but that's not the end goal. The end goal is love yourself where you are and then work in a healthy way to get where you want to be with the body size or whatever. But yeah, the difficult part for me was accepting myself. And what you said, I lost 55 pounds and I was the unhappiest after I lost the 55 pounds.
Right.
Yeah, because there was so many things.
Because you're like, oh, well, but I'm still here, and no one's actually changed how they treat me, how they see me, how they look at me. And so then you kind of realize, okay, my work has really just begun. The joy, when we outsource it to our results, means we have no control, and it's something that's very easy to lose. It means that anything can happen that'll just take it away. Okay, so I go on a vacation where I don't have my pre-measured portions of carrots and oatmeal. Now I've lost this thing that I'm telling myself gives me worth. right? So we live in this state of isolation. Oh my gosh, that is a lonely place to be when your friends are drinking margaritas or eating cake. We live in fear and we live in anxiety because that's what happens when we outsource those outcomes. But outcomes are just results. They have zero impact on our actual life, which in our life, it is the journey. Our life is the journey. And so when we think like, oh, I'm going to just get to my after picture and like, I'll be good, we're chronically disappointed at that outcome. And it's, you know, it's heartbreaking, I think, for anyone going through that to get there and realize that they've wasted the time and the energy
and the joy.
Yeah, that's a huge loss of joy. Yes. You know, and like it's something, it's important, I think, to note too in this conversation. If anyone's having like a oh shit moment, you're not alone. I've been there. Like it's also actually a really valuable moment. There's a lot of loss that can come with that realization, but there's also a lot to gain because like now I know. So now what can I choose to do differently, right? And that's the hat of the Curious Detective, and that's where the journey to well-being restoration can truly begin.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Honestly, it's a transformation, really, and you can't just expect it to happen overnight. And yeah, I feel what I see most in my clients is them being scared of food. A lot of times they get this fear of food, or recently, I mean, they're on a weight loss journey and then family and friends are buying cake because a lot of times family and friends are not adjusted to the idea that the person's trying to live a healthier life. So they still bringing crisps, chips in your language. Bags of chips, bags of crisps, chocolates, cakes, all these kind of stuff. They're still bringing that in and offering it to you as in, da, 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 here you go. But you're really struggling because you know that you really shouldn't, but you want to, blah, 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 is that inner struggle. Well, what I want to say always with this is like, it's not about constantly saying no and living in fear from cake and living in fear from cookies. I'm actually notoriously known as the cake diet doctor. It sounds so funny. Because I actually teach how to make cakes and eat them and still feel healthy, be healthy, and lose weight at the same time. So you can have your cake and eat it. It's not about giving up all the joy in your life. And this is what I really like about you, Ashley, is that you're teaching that as well. And it's not about giving up carbs at all. And I so don't agree with that new trend. It's about finding that balance and that deservingness, which comes with a journey into yourself and comes with coaching that Ashley does, right? And coaching that we do here in Bad Moms. It's about having this guidance because guess what? I tried doing it by myself. Did you try to do it by yourself?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's how I ended up at my most depressed and most angry.
Yeah, there you go.
As well as angry as shit because I was watching everyone have the things that I felt I couldn't. So, of course, I judged them heavily, which was a great signpost to me that that's also was like one of my shame triggers. And I had a lot of value work to do. So in digging myself out of that incredible hole, I learned so much, and that's how I created my own coaching program. Why I want to help women, because that is a lonely, shitty place to be.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. And a lot of times, like when we start, it's like the 2 weeks, they're like, yeah, super motivated. And then the period starts, and I call that period the suck. Right? It starts because that is where the suck starts. The way it's shifting slower than it did in the beginning, the motivation is dropping, but motivation is a myth. I call it a myth. Motivation should be internal, not external, right? It should come from inside, and that comes by having really clear goals and clearly define why am I doing this, and not something as external as to fit into my jeans. What does that mean to you? What does fitting in your jeans mean to you? Does that mean breathing easier when you're actually sitting down? Does that mean moving easier when you're going for a walk? Those are the goals that I feel are more important than just something as external as fitting in into a piece of clothing. But it's also I lost my plot here. What was I saying? Never mind. But yeah, just in general, I feel that most women are judged externally and then judged internally. And a lot of times we feel like we need to walk this walk by ourselves. And I've tried to walk it by myself and I've burned out and I've made every single mistake under the sun. And then a lot of times you get the excuse of, oh, I can't afford a coach. I can't afford a program or something. And I always say, well, you know what? Can you afford spending 10 more years trying to discover what works for you, like I did, right? Or do you think that it would be much easier if we figured this out in 6 months?
Right.
Which one can you afford?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and money is renewable. Time isn't. You don't get that back. So as I was having my children back to back, and in pregnancy breastfeeding back to back, and was becoming so nutritionally depleted, right? I was missing out, which was resulting in severe anxiety. And now I was too like crippled by that anxiety to take them on outings. Like, what's the cost of that? Because I can't get that back. I can figure out a way to get more money. It's renewable. I can't get time back. Time affluence is truly like a marker of wealth and joy. Wealth, on any level, not just financial wealth, but true wealth. That deep sense of well-being and authenticity, encouraged to be in our lives. That's time is the valuable resource, and that's a shift too. That's a hard shift to make for a lot of us growing up, depending on how our parents acted around money culture and stuff.
Yeah, it's scary.
Definitely. It's an important conversation to keep having, so we can show up at the end of our lives with a legacy that aligns with our values.
Totally. I fully agree. And I come from a scarcity background. In my family, it was always like, money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have enough money. I come from ex-Yugoslavia, where I was 3 when we had our independence war. So I actually still remember war. We were very poor. There was a whole month that we ate nothing but potatoes because we didn't have money for anything. So it was really bad. My parents kept that mentality, whilst I kind of grew out of it because I was so young and I moved countries and I've learned things and started being an entrepreneur and grew personally as a person, also in my mindset. But I understand how scary it is. It's so scary to start a journey. And I'm not talking financially, although financial part is also very scary, because a lot of women feel guilty investing in their own self. They feel guilty paying for services they're going to benefit them. This is where I usually say, you first, mama, because when you feel at your best, you can be the best possible mom, the best partner, the best boss, babe, whatever you want to be, but you need to feel good. If you're living off coffee and barely getting through the day, what do your children see? What do your children get from you? So that's one thing. But also the other thing is, it's not, like you said, time. You will never get that back. And why did we have children? We didn't have children to put them on the side and go about and do whatever. I mean, at least I know I have mine because I want to spend time with her. She's such a great kid, right?
Yeah.
So as amazing as my job is, I'm a scientist, as amazing as that is, as fancy as it sounds, it takes me away from my child. And I want to be here to see her grow. I want to have an energy to bounce with her on the trampoline. I want to be one of those moms who go on the swings. Oh my God, I now fit into a swing on a playground that I didn't fit in majority of my life. Now that definitely is value that no money can bring, right?
Right.
So many amazing things that women just don't think about. But ladies, you need to put yourself first. So Ashley, back to you. is there like in interest of time? I know that you're going hiking, which is awesome. Totally need it.
I have to.
Totally
I mean,
need
that
it.
just ties right back in, right? Like if I'm not my best self, like no one in the house is happy.
That's it. That's exactly it.
No one in the house is happy. So I was like, come hell or high water, kids are going to grandma's and I am showing up in the woods to just breathe today. And yeah. So yes, hence why I'm in my car. It was survival today.
And it's great. And it's needed. And you have to do this. You know, you have to recharge. I've got a very good friend who just recently moved house, and we're in each other's COVID bubble. So we've been connected together since the beginning. And she just moved house, and she lives like an hour away from my house. So I just go to her house for 2 or 3 days. Because I need to go away. It's just like I have to remove myself from this 4 walls here, and it's tough, but you need to do what you need to do. And this is why I was like, no problem whatsoever, because I understand that you need it.
You do.
Oh, so many things. Yes. So it's so hard. Do you get mom guilt as well? Gosh, such terrible mom guilt, you know, sometimes.
I've been working on that. So I absolutely, it exists. I think we all share it for sure, especially when I use screens. I still really struggle with it, even though like, holy shit, it's a pandemic. Of course, kids are going to be in front of the TV, but I've been working on that. So like I have like tease that out as a source that's been distracting me from showing up to be the mom I want to be. So I've been working on it a lot. But yeah, mom guilt is real. And I've invested in a parenting coach specifically, because I just really, when I show up, I want to be the most intentional. Right now that I've overcome my nutrition struggles, especially as a dietitian, that huge shame source for me, right? Like I'm the expert, I shouldn't have a struggle. So once I overcame that, then it really came to how do I, now that I'm the best version of me, how do I become the best and most intentional mom to teach my kids? So again, right, I jumped from investing in my business as well to investing in my motherhood when I had the chance. I'm a huge fan of community. I don't think any of this is supposed to be done alone, which, to tie it back, I realize I went on a tangent. I get really excited about certain things, but to tie it back, this is, community is everything. And that's what has, I believe anyways, my tribe. And I've gone through my hardest moments by asking for help. Yeah. And that's why I think COVID is so hard too. It's so hard because we are isolated in a lot of ways from our tribe.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I can so relate to this. I'm a very kind of touchy-feely person, so I like to hug and all that, and that's been taken away now. I'm like, I just want to hug people. But hey, gym's open today in Scotland, so I did my first session, so I'm like, yeah! But yes, in interest of time, first of all, I just want to thank you so much for coming on, taking this time from your hiking. It's been amazing, honestly. I feel like, ladies, whoever's watching this, we're gonna make sure that Ashley's details are up and down so in the description and in the comments, so please do reach out to her, because honestly I believe in abundance, right? I believe that there's, in this world, we are all sent here to help each other one way or another. So if you resonate with what Ashley's been saying today, with her struggles, with what she's been through as a woman, as a mother, and also as an entrepreneur, then do reach out, have a conversation. We are human beings. Just because we run our own businesses, it doesn't mean we're going to charge you for a cup of tea conversation, right? So reach out, have a cup of tea with us. No, it's a great form of
socializing for all of us. We're going to be like, from people, it's a person. Oh, can I just talk to you forever? Yeah.
So Ashley, before you go, can you just let the audience know how is the best way for them to contact you? Do you have any preferences? Do you have any last messages to send out into this world?
you can contact me by Facebook or Instagram. I am very available by my DMs, or really approachable there. I check them regularly and I respond personally. So yeah, check me out on Instagram. I'm ashleyholly.nutrition. And on Facebook, I'm Ashley Holly Nutrition. So either way, you can find me and shoot me a message, or even feel free to friend me, just Ashley Holly. It's the same profile picture, so you should be able to find me if there's multiple of us. But you can DM my personal page too. That's absolutely fine. I have great boundaries around it, so I'm always happy to be there when I'm giving forth in a business way.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for taking your time. Make sure that when we come off, pop me all the links so I can pop them in the comments, because right now we're in my Facebook group, Bad Moms Club Weight Loss Support. We are on my Facebook page, Dr. Monika Gostic, and we are on YouTube, my personal channel. So we are on a lot of platforms. So make sure you send me your links and I'll pop them on all three. And please, folks, get in touch with Ashley. As you can see, she's freaking amazing and she's awesome. So get in touch with her, have a great conversation, and thank you for tuning in tonight.
Thank you so much, Monica. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you too. Bye.